I swear to God, the second I opened that message, my body just stopped. Like my heart hit pause and forgot how to function. It was a random Tuesday night, cold, windy, nothing special. I'd just gotten back from work, slipped into my old hoodie, and was scrolling TikTok on my iPad when I saw a notification pop up at the top of the screen. It was from Bethany, my roommate. Just a single image. No text. Just a photo. Now here's where it gets weird. The preview is blurry, but the file name said screenshot_202, which made me instantly curious. I assumed it was about work or maybe something dumb online. She and I always send each other stupid memes or screenshots of guys sliding into our DMs. Totally normal roommate stuff.
So I tapped on it.
And there it was. A full, uncropped screenshot of my boyfriend, Chris, standing in front of the bathroom mirror, shirtless, boxers barely hanging on, with one hand clearly busy. But it wasn't just the photo. Below the image was his message. Wish you were here instead of Taylor. My name. My name. Like I was some annoying obstacle between the two of them. Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm 26, and apparently I was the only one in our tiny, overpriced Chicago apartment who didn't realize I was living in a goddamn love triangle. For a few seconds, I honestly couldn't breathe. I just kept staring at the screen like maybe there was some logical explanation. A joke? A prank? A deep fake? Something? But no. It was his number. His contact photo. His stupid little love emoji next to his name. I'd seen that mirror in his bathroom 100 times. That towel hanging on the door? I bought it. And then it hit me. Bethany didn't mean to send that screenshot to me. She meant to send it to him. She accidentally sent it to the girl they were both lying to. My chest went numb. My hands were shaking. I swear I could hear my own pulse, like someone turned up the volume inside my head. Everything around me felt too real, too loud. The hum of the heater, the traffic outside, the soft clink of dishes in the sink. And through it all, I could hear Bethany laughing in the living room. I stood up, walked out of my room, slowly on autopilot. And there she was, Bethany, curled up on the couch with a blanket over her legs, phone in hand, texting furiously. Probably Chris. She looked up when she noticed me. Hey, you good? She asked, casual as ever. I wanted to scream, to throw my iPad at her, to demand she explain why she was sexting the guy who spent every other night in my bed. But I didn't. I faked a smile. Yeah, I said, somehow keeping my voice steady. Just tired. She nodded and went back to her phone. I walked to the kitchen, sat down at the table, and stared at the floor for a solid 10 minutes. Not crying. Not even angry yet. Just blank.
Numb.
Because it wasn't just betrayal. It wasn't just my boyfriend cheating. It was the two people I trusted the most, the girl I lived with, laughed with, trusted with my spare key, and the guy I thought I might marry. I thought back to all the little things that suddenly made sense. That time I walked in on them sitting a little too close on the couch. That weird tension I felt when I'd walk into a room and they'd suddenly stop talking. The random nights Chris said he was too tired to come over, only for Bethany to mysteriously disappear too. The puzzle pieces weren't just falling into place, they were slamming into each other. But I wasn't going to confront them. Not yet. Because deep down, something colder was taking over. That weird gut instinct that some people might call rage, but to me, it felt more like clarity. I'd always been the nice girl. The one who gave people the benefit of the doubt. Who let things slide. Who forgave too easily. Not this time. This time, I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to cry. I was going to plan. And they weren't going to see it coming. I sat at that kitchen table for what felt like hours, but in reality, it was probably just 30 minutes. I didn't touch my phone. I didn't cry. I just stared, feeling this cold, creeping numbness spread through me. I knew if I broke down now, if I confronted them right this second, it'd be messy.
Loud. Ugly.
And they'd win. Chris would probably gaslight me with some pathetic excuse. Bethany would cry, swear it was a mistake, beg for forgiveness. But that wasn't good enough for me. Not this time. I wasn't going to let them off easy. You know what's funny? While I sat there in silence, Bethany still hadn't realized she sent me that screenshot by accident. Not a single follow-up text. No panicked knock on my door. No awkward, half-assed explanation. Nothing. Instead, she was in the living room, giggling softly at her phone screen, probably still texting Chris, still making plans behind my back. As if I wasn't sitting right there. As if I was too stupid to notice. I finally got up, heart pounding in my chest, and walked toward the living room. I could feel the heat creeping up the back of my neck, my hands curling into fists at my sides. I told myself, calm, stay calm. "Hey, Bethany," I said casually, trying to keep my voice from shaking. "Can I borrow your charger? Mine's fried." She barely glanced up from her phone. "Oh, yeah, sure. It's in my room, by the nightstand." I smiled. What a helpful little snake. I walked past her down the hallway, into her room. The room I'd stood in 1,000 times before. The room where she probably texted him while I was asleep just feet away. Her phone charger was there, like she said, but I wasn't there for that. My eyes scanned the desk, the dresser, everything. She was careless. Her laptop was wide open, no password. God, how could someone be this dumb? I opened her messages.
Yep.
Right there at the top. Chris Redheart. I scrolled quickly, screenshots of their entire dirty history. Photos. Flirty texts.
Nudes.
Even voice notes. My stomach turned. These two were so comfortable betraying me they didn't even bother hiding it. I airdropped everything to my iPad. Evidence saved. And then I put everything back exactly how it was. Charger, laptop, all untouched. When I walked back into the living room, Bethany smiled at me. Like nothing had happened. Like she wasn't the reason my entire world had just imploded. "Thanks," I said softly. "I'll bring it back later." She nodded, still laughing at something on her screen. Probably Chris telling her how hot she looked tonight, or whatever disgusting thing they did when I wasn't around. But I was around now, and they were going to regret everything. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to the sound of Bethany laughing at something on her phone 2 rooms away. I wondered if she knew yet, if she realized the mistake she made by sending me that screenshot. But she didn't come to my door. No explanation. No apology. Good, I thought. Let her think she got away with it. Let her giggle and scheme. Because while she was planning her next little secret meetup with my boyfriend, I was planning something much, much bigger. I started imagining how I could destroy them both. How I could make them feel what I was feeling. Helpless, exposed, betrayed. But I didn't want to just scream at them. I didn't want some trashy confrontation in our living room where they could lie and fake cry and play the victim.
No.
I wanted to break them properly, in a way that left no room for pretending. Then an idea started forming. Slow at first, but then clearer, sharper. Like puzzle pieces snapping together in my head. I would hit them where it hurt most. Their egos. Their fake, perfect little images. And I would make sure they never forgot it. As the sun started to rise and Bethany finally went quiet in her room, probably drifting off to sleep after sending Chris her goodnight texts, I lay wide awake, calm, focused. I knew exactly what I had to do. And they wouldn't see it coming. For the next 2 weeks, I played the part so well, I could have won an Oscar. I smiled when Bethany joked about girls' night. I kissed Chris when he stopped by. I cooked dinner, laughed at stupid movies, even let Bethany borrow my eyeliner like nothing had changed. Like I wasn't secretly holding the digital smoking gun that could blow both their lives apart. I kept waiting for her to realize what she'd done, sending me that screenshot by mistake. But she never did. Maybe she thought I was too dumb to catch on. Or maybe she was that confident I wouldn't find out. Either way, perfect. Because I was busy putting the real plan together. See, here's something you should know about Chris. He loves looking like the perfect boyfriend. The guy who treats his girl right. The guy with the cute couple photos on Instagram. The guy who makes girls jealous of his sweet relationship. His social media was his brand. And Bethany? She was all about status. The fun, carefree, sexy roommate everyone wanted to be friends with. Miss Popular. Miss, I'd never do anything shady. So I decided to burn both their fake little worlds down. Step 1. Gather proof. And I mean everything. I spent hours digging into their messages, DMs, even her hidden photo albums. Screenshots.
Nudes.
Sexts. Disgusting messages about me. The whole ugly history of their betrayal. Step 2. Find an ally. His other girlfriend. Her name was Hannah. I found her through one of Chris's tagged Instagram photos. Some concert I wasn't even invited to, posted 2 months ago. Weird, because he told me he was working late that night. I'd met her late at night.
Hey.
Weird question. Are you dating Chris? She answered in 5 minutes. Wait, who are you? We talked for hours. Turned out, she was his real girlfriend. She'd been with him for 6 months, longer than he'd been sneaking around with Bethany. She had no idea I even existed. Her shock turned into fury so fast, I almost felt bad for him. Almost. Step 3. Execution. I invited all 3 of them to a surprise birthday dinner for my cousin at this upscale rooftop restaurant downtown. Private room. Great view.
Candlelight.
Super classy. Bethany was thrilled. OMG, should I wear my new black dress? She asked. I smiled and said she'd look amazing. Chris even texted, "You're the best for planning this, babe."
Yeah, babe.
The night of the dinner, I dressed to kill. Black dress. Red lipstick. Confidence I hadn't felt in months. They both showed up, Chris holding Bethany's hand like it was the most normal thing in the world. They smiled when they saw me, like I was clueless. Then they walked into the private room and stopped dead. The walls were covered in framed screenshots. Every dirty message, every sleazy photo, every secret. Chris's nude selfie blown up and hanging right over the dinner table. Bethany's voice note, "I can't believe she still has no idea, LOL," playing softly on repeat from a Bluetooth speaker in the corner. And sitting right there, calmly sipping wine, was Hannah, dressed sharp, looking like revenge itself. "Hi, Chris," she said, raising her glass. Chris turned white. Bethany gasped like someone had punched her in the stomach. The restaurant staff didn't even care. I told them it was part of a performance art project and tipped them $100 to let me set it up. Worth every penny. Bethany grabbed Chris's arm. "You told me she didn't know," she hissed. Chris stammered. I can explain." "Explain what?" Hannah cut in. "That you were screwing her, and me and Taylor?"
Wow.
Impressive schedule. The room was silent except for the soft hum of the voice note playing over and over. Bethany ran out first, eyes full of tears. Chris just stood there, frozen, like his brain short-circuited. I leaned in close. "Game over," I whispered. Then I took Hannah's hand, and we left, 2 women who finally burned their liar down. It's funny how quiet life gets after you blow everything up. The next morning, Bethany was gone. No note, no goodbye, just gone. Her side of the closet empty, makeup drawer wiped clean, toothbrush missing from the bathroom sink. Like she never existed. She didn't even have the guts to face me. I heard through a mutual friend later that she'd moved back to her hometown in Ohio, telling people some half-baked story about how her roommate betrayed her trust.
Right.
Because I was the villain for catching her screwing my boyfriend. As for Chris, his meltdown was spectacular. 30 missed calls. Over 50 texts. Some begging. Some raging. Some desperate. "Please, Tay. It's not what you think. I made a mistake. One mistake. She meant nothing. I love you." He even sent me flowers.
Twice.
Like a cheap apology bouquet was going to erase the image of his naked body on my iPad screen. I posted one of the screenshots on my private story, not public, but enough for close friends to see. The caption? "Loyalty's dead. So, is this relationship?" The comments and DMs exploded. Friends I hadn't spoken to in years came out of the woodwork to say they never trusted him, or that something fell off with Bethany. Why no one said anything before? I don't know. Maybe they thought I wouldn't believe them. Maybe I wouldn't have.
But now?
Now, everyone knew. And Chris's carefully built reputation as perfect boyfriend was trashed in a single weekend.
His job.
Oh, that's the best part. Turns out Hannah had connections. Her cousin worked with Chris at his fancy tech startup. Guess who got a quiet HR visit on Monday morning about inappropriate personal conduct impacting company image? He was asked to take some time off. In other words, fired. And me? I felt free. Really free. Like I could finally breathe in my own apartment without wondering what secrets were hiding behind every door. Hannah and I became friends after that night. Real friends. We went to Miami together a month later. Just us, sun, cocktails, no toxic men to worry about. It felt like shaking off a dirty coat I'd been wearing for way too long. We laughed about it on the beach. "Can you believe we almost fought over that loser?" she joked, sipping her drink. "Never again," I said, clinking my glass with hers. And I meant it. Do I regret what I did? Not for a second. Some people deserve to be exposed. To lose everything when they gamble with someone's trust. And I made sure they did. So, to Bethany, wherever you ran off to, and to Chris, probably sitting unemployed in his apartment, wondering how it all went so wrong. You messed with the wrong girl. And I promise you'll never forget it. Thank you so much for listening to my story. Your support means everything. If this story touched you or made you think, please subscribe to our channel for more real, powerful stories.